Well, hey, you guys. So there's a video going around the internet right now that's all about what to do after you save your first $1,000. Well, that immediately grabbed my attention for two reasons. First of all, because people typically disagree with me when I say that $1,000 is a really good savings goal where you should start. And again, I was surprised that somebody else was using that $1,000 number. So I thought, well, that's great. And second is because I wanted to see if I agreed with his advice. So today I'm going to be reacting to the 5 things that this creator said to do after you hit your $1,000 savings goal. Plus, I'll be sharing my personal savings philosophy so that you can make sure that you are right on track. So stick around to the end so you can hear my number 1 tip to actually making saving money fun, because it can be fun, you guys. All right, the first thing that this creator says to do after you've saved your first $1,000 is to invest money in your education, specifically books. So he says if you want an MBA level education without paying for an MBA, you should read 25 books about business and money topics. First, read 5 books on money management and investing, then read 5 books on how to start a business. Next, read 5 books on how to scale a business. Then read 5 books on how to manage people in business. And finally, read 5 books either about or by your favorite entrepreneurs. And he even gives a shout out to the Total Money Makeover when recommending his top 3 favorite personal finance books. So, love that. Okay, so here's my thoughts. I was like, okay, what does this look like for somebody, right? The average person, I think one of the things that we say a lot is investing in yourself and actually understanding how this stuff works. The knowledge part of all of this is really important. But overall, personal finance, it's 80% behavior. It's only 20% head knowledge. So the head knowledge, yes, is important. You have to know what to do, but your behavior through it is even more important. But I'm all about reading books. Now, I usually read fiction books about like murders and all that kind of stuff, which is what I love. But the nonfiction books and learning about this stuff, I think is really great. And we do find that a lot of people, leaders, people that are winning out in life, they are readers. They really do. They retain this information. And there's so many great thought leaders out there, you guys, in these spaces that are so smart, they're so wise. So you're getting, like he said, an MBA degree, which I think is a really great term to use to compare, because in a way, when you're out in the real world, it's huge. Now, does everybody want to start their own business? Is everyone wanting to do that? No. So that's where I probably would disagree in a sense where I'm like, you don't have to go start your own business to win with money long term. Now, if you do have that in you and you want to be an entrepreneur and you're like, oh yeah, I kind of want to start something and do something big and I have dreams and I have goals, then you're maybe bent that way, which is awesome and great. So go for it. I mean, learn and grow it, and that's great. But some people, that's not their gifting. And so that's okay if that's not you. But I do like the idea of reading and learning new things in this world when it comes to money, finance, business. I think is really smart. So part of me is like, yeah, that's great. But when it comes to like actual education, like if you're looking ahead to say, hey, if I do want to save for education, look to see the ROI on yours. I talked to a lot of people on the Ramsey show and they call in and they went to go get an MBA or get a master's, but then their income is the same as if they didn't, and it doesn't really matter, right? So really focus in if you are looking for actual higher education to see the ROI. And then we do want to save for our kids' college. That'll be later on past paying off debt and emergency fund, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But it's not that I don't agree at all with his, philosophy. I kind of like it. It's great. But also know your behavior is a big part of it. It's not just the head knowledge. All right, the second thing that he recommends doing after you saved your $1,000 is to upgrade your goals and think bigger. So whatever your next financial goal is, he says go one step further. So you should start to consider that achieving greater goals is possible and that you can increase your chances of achieving those things if you actually start to believe it. Now, on the other hand, if you stop dreaming at whatever level, your friends are at or your family is and like the potential that they've reached, if you just kind of say that that's your baseline, you may be limiting your potential. I would agree with that. I think it's great. And I think for a lot of what we teach here about getting out of debt and having an emergency fund in place, for a lot of people, those are big goals. Those feel unreachable for a lot. So I would say, constantly be thinking through, hey, what are my dreams? What are my goals? Because some of those is the fuel behind how the reality of your money actually plays out. And that's why I love the baby steps. Because, if paying off debt feels insane for you, it feels like, oh my gosh, this is impossible, then look at other people who have done it. That's why I love us even being on YouTube, is that you can go through these debt-free screens and you can actually say, okay, other people have done this. So you know that it's not impossible. Because if everyone around you hasn't done that, you may start to think it is impossible, but it's actually not. So those big goals, find people that have done it. So yeah, I love his advice on that. I think that's great. All right, the third thing that he suggests is to level up your investment game. He says money has 3 functions. It can be spent, saved, or invested. And he says wealthy people earn money to invest it rather than squandering it all on unnecessary spending that make you appear rich without actually ever building wealth. So living below your means, it's a discipline that allows you to create margin and invest your money long term. Now, I love this. I mean, I completely agree. I mean, this is, I'm not against buying stuff and enjoying your life by any means, but there is this long-term perspective that a lot of wealthy people have, and they take their income and actually let it work for them and invest it and actually have their money be making money while they sleep, right? I mean, in that sense. And I think that's really important. And so when he says that, I think it's great. I think I would do a couple of things after your $1,000 before investing. We'll talk about that. But overall, it's just this different mindset shift that you care more about, hey, how can I get to this place of my money making money, right? And investing versus feeling like, oh, I'm living paycheck to paycheck and in this rat race of just trying to keep up with everyone else. So I love that. Okay, before I share the rest of this list, I want to tell you about something that I have been loving lately, especially since summertime is officially here. Now that school is out, there is a good chance that your kids will have more screen time. It happens, you guys. But listen, keeping your kids safe while they're on those screens, well, that is so stressful for us parents. So let me tell you about a great way to give yourself some peace of mind. True Play Games. With True Play, you don't have to worry about what might pop up on their screens. True Play is one app with a bunch of entertaining games and videos and so much more designed to help your kids build character and grow in their faith. There are no chat rooms, no ads, no in-app purchases. True Play turns screen time into stress-free time for mom and dad. So go to trueplaygames.com/Rachel now and get 20% off an annual subscription with the promo code Rachel20. All right, the fourth thing that he recommends is to use money to buy back your time. He points out that in order to grow your money and build wealth, you have to have money in the first place. So in order to bring in more money, you need to make your time worth something. So cancel things that are eating up your time, like Netflix and binging stuff, and instead use it to earn more money with that time so that it's not wasted. And if you do this for 6 months, then you're going to be able to see something on the other side of that, which is just incredible. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I get that. I think that that's great. And especially if there's these goals that you're wanting to hit, whether it's getting out of debt, getting an emergency fund in place. We talk about that a lot, is getting a side hustle, getting some extra income in. I do think that it's realistic though, for some people, depending on your season of life, or where you are financially, be like, okay, I kind of just want a breather. I don't want to be working, 80 hours a week. But some people are in a season of sacrifice. And so that idea of taking that free time and actually putting it towards making money, especially if you're trying to hit these goals, I think it's great. All right, the fifth thing he says to do after you saved $1,000 is to upgrade your cash flow. He talks about making the switch from traditional investment methods that earn money over time, like retirement accounts, to more instant investment strategies that earn you cash quicker. He says that some of his investments are in real estate, some are in stocks, some are in businesses that he owns, and regardless, he recommends taking whatever cash is earned from those investments and investing it back into something that will grow your money's value rather than spending it on material things. I think that this is more of a complex way of looking at this, but I do agree with him. I think even diversifying outside of your retirement accounts, like he says, I think good mutual funds, I wouldn't do single stock investing, and investing in other businesses, I think is smart. I think you'd have to have a lot of margin to be able to do that. And depending on where you are financially, that may not be an option for you, but I get what he's saying. And, when we talk about real estate investing, that's it. You take the rents that you get from a paid for property and over time, build that up to go and buy another property, right? So you actually are using your money to go and grow your assets and grow your net worth, essentially. But I'm such a spender too, y'all. So there's a part of me that's like, you can if you're at that point and you're out of debt and an emergency fund and retirement's taken care of, there is a part of you live like no one else. So later you can live and give like no one else. So there is some fun in this and enjoy life too. That's what I would say. All right, now for my personal savings philosophy. There are definitely aspects of a strategy, again, that I agree with. And also some things that, they could be a little bit more nuanced in how we agree on it. But overall, here's a short and simple version of what I recommend after you save $1,000. Once that's done, then all your other money, any other savings that you have that's not retirement, any extra money that you have, I want you to throw it towards your debt. Now, that may be taking your lifestyle and cutting it, that may be earning extra money, whatever it is, I want you to pay off your debt, smallest to largest. And then once all that is paid off but your house, then upgrade that $1,000 emergency fund to 3 to 6 months of expenses saved in the bank. This can be in a high yield savings account, a money market account. But the idea here is that you have no payments and you have a fully funded emergency fund. And then you can start investing. So invest 15% of your income into retirement, kind of the boring things that he was talking about earlier, but your 401k, your Roth, all of that. You won't see that money until you're 59 and a half or whenever you retire. But again, the idea that you are saving for the future. And then save for kids' college. We talked about that earlier. And then any extra money you have, throw it at the house. And once your house is paid off, that frees up a mortgage payment, which is amazing. So then you're able to invest more. All right, here's my number one tip, though, when it comes to making savings fun. That is sinking funds. Okay, sinking funds, this is where you save a little bit of money every single month so that when the time comes for when you need the money for the big purchase or the experience, whatever you're saving for, the money's all there. So if you're needing to replace your car, let's say you set up a sinking fund, maybe you start saving $50, $100 in your paycheck, a little bit on the side. So, in 3 to 5 years from now, you're looking to be like, oh my gosh, I have $3,000, $6,000, $12,000 that I can put towards a new car, which is awesome. So when it gets to that point, you have the money and it makes car shopping that much more fun. Or maybe it's a trip to Europe. Maybe you save $150 per month between now and next summer. Then you've saved almost $2,000, which is great. So again, when you are saving for things, that's the fun of it, is to know that you're going to actually have the money when the time comes, and you're saving for fun things. So that's important too. So money, it is a powerful tool to help you build a life that brings joy and brings financial peace. And I know that this doesn't sound glamorous all the time, but it really is those small things that you do today to set you up for the future that you want. Now, for some of you, reading 25 books, like our friend suggested, might sound exciting, but some of you would, like to take a crash course when it comes to your personal finance. So if that's you, I highly recommend Financial Peace University. This is our 9-lesson money course that literally teaches everything that you need to know when it comes to money and building wealth. So make sure to check out the link below. And if you're looking for ways to save $1,000 fast, check out my episode on 25 ways to do just that. So remember, you guys, to take control of your money and create a life you love.